Awesome. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, I'm going to unmute Teams. Awesome. So I am here with Sammy, Dawood, and Cinder, and we have an amazing session today, which is going to be on chatbots. So all the different styles you can use, and it's an introductory session, so beginner level 100. So I hope you all enjoy. So hi, Sammy and Dawood and Cinder. How are you?
Hi Salman. Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Dawood, would you like to say hi?
Yes, I'm doing awesome. Yeah, and so excited to have Sammy here. There's just like so much positive vibes when you look into the eyes of Sammy. I don't know whether I'm the only one who sees that.
There's so much what?
Well, I'm excited. So much positive vibes, you know. Yeah, so much inspiration. Yeah, so I think let me just do the Hannah of reading a bit bio of Sammy. Or Salman, would you do that?
Why didn't Cinder do it? Cinder, you should introduce yourself as well.
Okay, no problem. Introduce myself while starting my session, or?
Oh no, I was saying Cinder. So Cinder is the other person in the call.
Cinder Rishua.
Okay.
Hey, sir.
Hi. How are you?
Good, doing great. Hold on, let me just.
Yeah, and then to all of you joining us in the chat, thank you so much for taking our time on Saturday. We know we shifted the time a bit backwards because we essentially wanted to also favor a lot of people so that they can get to watch the Juneteenth conference whilst we are marketing this. So we are so much excited. Just put it in the chat where you are joining us from. Don't forget to also retweet it, tweet it on your pages so that people would know that today's session starts earlier than before. We will be sending out emails as well. So definitely people are going to find out more about this. So thank you for helping us in getting more people to see the amazing content we're about to share. Hi, Cinder. Are you ready with the bio?
Yes,
And
I'm ready.
Yes. So Sammy is here with us, and I'll pass it off to Sunda. Hi, Sunda. You can read out the bio.
Well, today we have Sammy Deprez with us. He's a managing partner at Arinti. Well, Sammy is a senior consultant and a managing partner at Arinti, a company focused on Microsoft AI platform. He is passionate about everything that has to do with data and anything connecting to that. From reporting to till data science and AI, he works on projects locally and abroad, and in industries from healthcare to finance and banking. And most importantly, he likes to share his knowledge with others. That's why he's also organizer of the global AI events in Belgium and a core member of dataMinds. So today he's going to show you how to build chatbots, well, in not one, not two, but four flavors, I might say. So I'm excited for that because I've been thinking to do chatbots, but never knew like where to start. So we started. Yes.
Cool. Thanks for the introduction. Just give me a minute. By mistake, I closed my PowerPoint, and now it's opening up, and it takes some time. I have no idea why. So, give me.
Feel free to take your time. Like chatbots are essential to everyday. Every company should have one nowadays, especially with the solutions which Sammy's going to show. You can implement it very quickly, and within a few minutes.
Yeah, and I think people can even use it on their website, right? So say you have a website and someone visits it, right? You would want, you might not be available 24/7 on your website to know who is visiting it at, a second or a minute. So if you have a chatbot there, then it means that the chatbot could say hi to the audience who visit your website anytime, 24 hours, and then try to, connect them.
Even at midnight when you're probably asleep. And where is Dawood? Did I hide him?
Yeah, I'm here. I think
You're invisible.
Oh, I'm here. I
Dawood
think
is Harry Potter.
Oh, we see your PowerPoint now.
You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
All right. then I will start. Well, you've already read my bio, so you already know a bit who I am. Maybe it's good to know also dataMinds. It's the Belgian data and AI community where I'm also a core member, which we also organize monthly events, but mostly focused on data platform. And within that organization, I organize the AI events. So I'm also part of the global AI community where I organize the AI Talks Live, shows like this, where we just get speakers every week to talk about a specific topic in AI. Sometimes it's purely based about a Microsoft product. The other time we had someone who is a professor at the University of Alberta in the US, and he just discussed some research. We also had someone from University in Amsterdam. So it doesn't always purely project-wise. It can be research, it can be about ethics, and so on. If you want to, well, talk to me, you can always talk to me through my Twitter at Sammy Deprez. So don't hesitate to send me a message if you have any questions. So today we're going to do a quick roundup of about what are chatbots. We'll discuss some tools very quickly, and then of course the 4 different flavors that Microsoft is offering to build chatbots. So we have Bot Framework SDK, we have the Composer, we have the Power Virtual Agents, and then Health Bots. And of course, very important, what are the price differences? When are you using what and when? So, a chatbot. First of all, I've never done this, so I want to try this. Let me see if this works. Does this work? Okay. Have you tried to build your own chatbot? If you go to menti.com and use the code 142943, you can answer this question. So I'll give you a little time. It's always nice to have some interaction in a virtual event. Right, we already have 2 people.
Okay, menti.com. Type it in the chat so that people are able to easily click on it. HTTP.
And then the code 142943.
Okay. 142943. Okay. So you have the code and you have the link in the chat. You can visit it and give your response.
Yeah. Another response. So we'll just wait 10 more seconds. All right, cool. So we have some people who have some experience with building chatbots, and we have someone who has none at all, but that's no problem because we're introducing you today to what is possible. So we have another person who says no, perfect. If we think about chatbots, if you stay within the app, you can just fill in some keywords. Why are chatbots handy for you? You can just give in some keywords and then we will see them pop up here in a word cloud. So you don't need to revisit the website, it will automatically go to the next question. You don't need to fill in 3. Help with repetitive, exactly. Faster response. Automation, yeah, the repetitive work / automation. It's a bit the same. Okay, cool. Same response, always better, faster. They're accessible, yeah. Okay, cool. One thing I miss here, and that's most of the time something I see, the first thing is 24/7. With a chatbot, well, you don't have a help, well, a call center. Well, you can still have a call center, but you can always chat to a bot where you cannot always call a call center because, for example, at night they are not available. Okay, cool. Thanks for your answers. So a chatbot. Well, actually, a chatbot is nothing different than any other application, except with an application you might have a full visual UI where you can do things. And now with the chatbot, the only input you have is text or voice. Now with voice, which is language, the difficulty is understanding what the user is saying. If we look into the example of this picture, a bike, you have many different kinds of bike. So if you tell to a chatbot, okay, I want to buy a bike, what kind of bike are you looking for? What for a human being might be easier sometimes to figure out based on what he also sees, based on the context of the conversation, and so onwards. So we have the inputs, and then what's also different is, of course, the user experience. You are within a limited different kinds of tools that you can use. Most of the time it will just be answering with text, but there are options to, of course, also send videos, files, images, to make it a bit more like you're really chatting with someone on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or so on. Now, chatbots on itself, well, it's nothing new at all. The first chatbot was built already in the 60s, and it was by Joseph Weizenbaum, a professor at MIT. And his idea was to build a computer program that could mimic human conversations. So it tried to match the words, as user said to the bot, to match it to a list of possible scripted responses. But this was the basic of NLP that was already set at that time. The funny thing is that ELIZA, well, it was built to caricature human conversations, but people were really telling their thoughts and their problems to ELIZA, because it was also built to copy a psychologist. So at that time, experts declared that just into a couple of years, you wouldn't see the difference anymore between a chatbot or a human while talking to it. Well, then we were the 60s. They were probably saying the same thing about self-driving cars, that we will be driving self-driving cars very soon. We're getting close to that. With chatbots, it's also getting closer. But if you want to do the Turing test on a chatbot, and that's the hardest part, because the Turing test says that a computer program needs to have the capability of thinking like a human, but that means you need to have general AI. You need to be able to talk about all different kinds of subjects and still be able to answer about it. So it's nothing new, but what has changed over time, of course, lots of research has been done, lots of compute power has been is much cheaper, so creating those kind of things is much cheaper, and because of building certain frameworks, it's also gives everyone the possibility to create chatbots, and that's what we're also going to discuss today. Before we're going to go on to really the SDKs or the tools that are there to build the chatbots, we're going to discuss some tools that we will use. And one of the tools is the QnA Maker. So again, one question: what company of Elon Musk makes flamethrowers? Who can answer that? Kind of course, put in the chat. Sorry?
Your question again?
What company of Elon Musk makes flamethrowers?
Oh, I think we might have Elon Musk's followers in the chat to answer this.
Didn't he sell this company?
That's company? No. The company is called the Boring Company. Oh, sorry.
Is it a company that's making
the tunnels also? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they also make they also made like one-time flamethrowers. I have no idea why, but some people, he probably had to do some research. I'm guessing that's why he built it. But okay. But why I want to go to this is, if you go to the website of the Boring Company, well, actually their website is, it's kind of boring also. Just some pages, an FAQ with a long list of questions and answers. Now, Microsoft has a tool that is called QnA Maker. And the cool thing about it is that if you go to it, I'll QnA Maker.ai. And you say, I want to create a new knowledge base. I'll just create one. So you have many different languages that are already supported. Then you can give it your name of your knowledge base, because actually it's, or your name of your FAQ, how you want to call it. Boring Company Demo 1. Now, the cool part is you can enter here an URL. So if we copy this URL of the FAQ list, we can just paste this here. You can add some automated chit chat also to the list. We're not going to do that in this case. And you click create your knowledge base. The moment I click on this, I've already done this. Wait, where my knowledge base is. Okay. That's not supposed to happen. That's what happens with live demos. Sign in. Strange. Got signed out for some reason. Come on.
Sammy, and that's the QnA website?
Yes, QnA Maker.ai.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll
here it is. So, yeah, okay, cool. QnA Maker.ai. So I already created the knowledge base. So as I showed before, we could just import it, and then it generates this full list of. That's why I made a recording of it when things go wrong. So what we see here is each time the question and the answer is, so this whole list has automatically been imported within the QnA Maker, and we can immediately use it. So if we click test here, we can already chat with the QnA Maker. So we have here the question, why tunnels? What about tunnels? So we don't have exactly the same phrase, and it will give us the correct answer. So here we have the answer based on why tunnels. Now the nice thing is that if you click here on inspect, you also get a confidence score. So 98 is very good. If you see it's not so good, but it's still the correct answer, you can also add alternative phrasing. So what you can do here is add other questions that are linked to the same answer. So it's kind of training your QnA Maker. That's it about QnA Maker that I will discuss today, because there's so much more to say. So let me go back to my slides. Okay. So QnA Maker is a tool where you don't need any code. It has automatic extraction. It has multi-turn conversation, which means, for example, we built a chatbot for a local city, local government, and one of the questions like, where can I find a school? Yeah, but what kind of school are you talking about? So that's an extra question that you will need to ask to your public. Are you looking for a nursery? Are you looking for a sports school? Are you looking for a music school? So this is multi-turn. You can have one, you can generate a tree of questions to go to the specific answer that you want. Then you have active learning. With active learning means, for example, when a question, the same question pops up multiple times within a certain time frame, then the chatbot, well, QnA Maker will save it. So you can add it to your set and put an answer on it in case you don't have an answer on it. But also in case there's you send in a question and you get two answers where the confidence score are very close to each other. Well, then the QnA Maker will also send those two answers to the two questions to the user. I will ask, which question did you mean? And based on the answer of the user, it will retrain the QnA Maker. Of course, scaling is very important. You can go from a free tier all the way to a very expensive tier. That's depending on how many users you have. And at the moment, there's more than 50 languages just supported. I'm very glad Dutch is supported, the language I speak. So this is a tool I most of the time implement within chatbots because it's for the business side, a very simple way to just add extra questions. Now, another and actually the most important service that you will use within your chatbot is Lewis. Now, with Lewis, it's the NLP tool of Microsoft. And for that, we need that's language understanding service. Now, what do we understand about what is language understanding? Well, imagine a user is asking a question, I want to book a flight. Now, depending on your chatbot, you might have different conversations that you go over. Now, in this case, book a flight, but it could as well be I want to cancel a flight or I want to change a flight. But the questions that you will ask will be different based on the user's question. So the first thing that we need to figure out is the intent of the question or the sentence of the user. So here we have the intent, book a flight. Now, the next one that we might have within that same is that the user is already giving some extra information. So I want to book a flight to JFK. Shoot.
A quick one. That's I'm feeling the name intent or the word intent. Does it like mean intention or something?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. What's the intention of the user? Where does he want to go to?
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So in the second sentence you see here, we already get some extra information from the user. This is very important to already recognize this data, because imagine you as a user, you send the sentence, I want to book a flight to JFK, and then you ask, and where do you want to go to? That would be very irritating. So by also recognizing entities, you can make your chatbot smarter and, for example, don't ask that question again because you already have an answer on it. Now, you can also have multiple entities in this case. You want to have a flight from Brussels to JFK. And in this case, you have roles. You have a from entity and you have a to entity, but both are airports. But then you can also have multiple entities. You can have, I want to book a flight tomorrow to Seattle. I wish I could. So tomorrow is an entity that describes where we're going, when we're going, and Seattle is the airport we're going to. So in this case, we have more and again more information that we don't need to ask our user, and that makes our chatbot more human and more smarter. So this part is very important to use. Now, we also have, of course, the enabling of voice. If you want to integrate your chatbot in a call center, which is perfectly possible, then you need to understand what your users are saying. And now I just need to double check if I shared my sound with my share. So I'll just stop sharing and share again. Include system audio. All right. So let me just give you this demo.
To Boston, both direct and connecting, that depart Pittsburgh after 7 p.m.
Please show only class QX.
How tall was the baryonyx dinosaur? Where is Panthera tigris virgata native to?
So the issue with voice is that we might have a lot of noise. And because of noise, we might not understand everything. Like, for example, in an airport. But other problems we might have is, for example, in this example, where it's talking about the Panthera tigris virgata, which is, I have no idea what it is, but by using the custom, by using the baseline voice to text, well, it didn't recognize the correct correct words. So what might be interesting is this might be very interesting in the medical industry, where they have a lot of scientific words that are not in the baseline models to recognize in a correct way. So therefore, we have custom speech where you can train your own voice, for example, or specific words to be recognized in a correct way.
To Boston.
Okay. These are the different, important tools that you can use. But now let's go on building the chatbot on itself. So the one that exists already for the longest time is the Bot Framework SDK. If we go to this long description that Microsoft documents give, I just want to pick out some important words. Comprehensive experience, easily model and build sophisticated conversations, favorite programming language, freeform, guided interactions, simple text, complex rich cards, and natural language interaction. So I will go on about some of them, what they mean. Now, the Bot Framework SDK, as I said, it's not so new. The first commit was in March, not to year 206, but the year 2016. There's over 124 releases. I need to update it because there's probably already a couple of them added. And the cool thing is the framework is available in different languages. So you can build it in C#. Now Java has also been added to it, but if you're a Node.js or JavaScript developer or a Python developer, perfectly possible too. Bot Framework SDK has different ways of communication. How do you communicate to your users? So we see here a whole list, and everything you see with an A are by default available on Azure. Where you have a difference between standard channels and premium channels. So for example, Teams, Skype, Cortana, Facebook, and so on are all standard channels, and you don't need to pay for interaction with it. Web chat, for example, sorry, my excuse. You will need to use a direct line API, which is all configured within Azure in a very simple way. That one you have a certain amount of messages free per month, and the rest you need to pay per 10,000 messages, but that's not like, it's a very small amount of money. How does it look? This is just a screenshot of how it's done. If I need to talk specifically about the Bot Framework SDK, well, I can give a full day workshop around that. But we only have 1 hour to go over 4 different types. So just want to show you this screenshot. What we see here, let me take my handler here, drawer, laser pointer. Does this work? Okay. This is when we're just echoing back what the user said. And what I want to show is this part here, message factory. Point text. We see here we're adding this value 2 times after each other. Why do we do that? Well, this message factory is already preparing us when we want to build a voice bot, because the only thing you would need to add is this part, the second reply text, because this first one is what you're saying in text, and the second one is what you're going to convert into sound in case it's necessary. QnA Maker, Lewis can all be integrated within Bot Framework SDK. The cool thing about Bot Framework SDK is that it's in code, so you don't really have so much limitations. Limitation is, I guess, for me, is what you can handle and how strong your coding skills are, and of course what you can send to the bot to itself. You're limited to there's certain things that are not possible within a chat window, and that's of course your limit. But otherwise, I don't have any limits within Bot Framework SDK. Now, the difficulty about Bot Framework SDK is, of course, it's all in code. That's all fun for people who want to code all the time. If we look to the competitors of Bot Framework SDK, they all had already visual UIs to build chatbots in a very easy way. Now, we were very happy that last year, Microsoft announced the Bot Framework Composer, which is actually not in public preview anymore, but we have now a stable release. You can download it for free. It's an installer, but you can also have it as a a Node.js application that you can just build on your own computer. Now, I call it the SDK plus because of course you have a visual editing canvas for conversational flows. You have language understanding that is built in. You have ways to train your LUIS, to call your QnA Maker. You have language generation and templating systems, and all within the same runtime that is also there. Now, if I will go to my virtual machine. So we have the bot framework composer here. And if I open one of my bots that I built it as a demo, it's in Dutch, but I will explain you what happens. So we have our welcome or greeting, which goes to my dialog welcome. We go to welcome. Now, what you see here, I hope this is readable for everyone. Well, this part is language. So I'm sending here a response to the user when he enters the chatbot. And this part here is actually just putting the text that you want to show.
Sammy, do you have like Zoom it or something?
Yeah, but I always forget how to use this.
Yeah, I think it's like Control-1.
Control-1.
Once you like Zoom it, you download it.
Yeah,
I don't have for this, you just do Windows and plus key if you want to use magnifier.
Yeah, I think that kind of takes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, makes sense.
And to zoom out, you can do Windows and minus or Windows escape.
But that doesn't work well in a virtual machine. Okay, so you have this part, language generation.
Actually, what we could do, we could try zoom in for you. That works.
Oh, it's okay. I'll manage. No worries. So language generation, you can just enter one phrase, but you can also add multiple phrases. And what happens at randomly, it will select one of the phrases for you, which again makes your chatbot a bit more human, and it feels more like, yeah, you're not always getting the same messages. Okay, cool. This is language generation. I'll close this here. Now, what we have, of course, you want to go to the specific models, to the specific conversations. So this was a chatbot, a small chatbot. I built it for a local government, and I have one here as thuislokatten, which is actually just asking to get documents. Now, what we can do here is add trigger phrases to call this intent. And I'll zoom in. Where's my screen black now? Okay. Cool. Okay. This is not working well, the zoom. Okay, I will not zoom in because I'm having issues with it. Sorry for that. This is actually training your LUIS model. So in this example, I'm saying I want to ask for an address while I'm moving. So I want to change my address. So we can already give the intent. So the action is adreswijziging, and adreswijziging is like changing my address. Or another one is I want a building permit, or I want to register for organ donation. So each time we define here what's the entity within that question. That data is automatically sent to LUIS, and from there onwards, we can go on to figure out what we want to do. So we have our condition and a scoring. This is what we get back from LUIS, because LUIS will tell us I'm 70% sure it's this intent. So we're already saying here that it needs to be 80% or more to be able to start this part, thuislokatten. So from there on, we set the variables that we already got, the entities, and then we have, for example, here our bot ask part, and the others part, and the others tab on the bottom, you can define always prompt. So if it always prompt is on true, it will always ask the question, although you already have the answer. So if you put it on false, it will ignore the question and will just go on to the next step. So here we have a flow that will ask a question. So we have the organ donation, the building permit, or changing the address. And from there on, we have a switch that will bring us to the correct other dialog. And so from here on. Now, another thing that I want to show is you also have a part allow interruptions, which means when your user is in this part, what the bot is asking the question, you can also ask, for example, now let's go back to our example of booking a flight. I want to book a flight to Hawaii. So you're in the whole conversation, and then you as a user are suddenly asking, but how is the weather in Hawaii at the moment? Well, then it will go to another dialogue, it will answer that question, and then it will go back to where you were. So that's what can be done with interruptions. Again, Bot Framework Composer is built on top of the Bot Framework SDK. So everything what you can do in Composer can of course be done within the SDK. Then, for example, if we don't know an unknown intent, imagine Louis doesn't know at all what happens, then we can still send our question to QnA Maker, and there we can just set up our knowledge base or endpoint or host name. We can set up a fallback answer and so on. Now, if I go back to...
Okay, Sammy, I think you should be getting used to zooming in and zooming out.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. I'm gonna stop with this part because otherwise I'm gonna be out of time. So,
yeah, I think we have about, I think about 20 minutes more.
Yeah,
or something.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I will go to my next part. Now, Power Virtual Agent. This one got released on Ignite 2019. I was really shocked about this, that it was suddenly there, because I was more expecting something for Bot Framework SDK, the Composer, because they were already working on something for a long time.
Okay, so just a quick one. Just a quick one chipping in. If you just join us in the chat, we are with Sammy. Sammy is an MVP, a Microsoft AI MVP. And Sammy has an amazing experience in building chatbot and using Microsoft AI stack. So right now he is demoing the various ways that you can build a chatbot with, Power Virtual Agent, with QnA Maker, and so much more. So currently we are on Power Virtual Agent. So if you just tune in, you are not late. You'll be able to make it from here.
Yep. So we're at our third flavor. Might be strawberry, might be chocolate, whatever you like of ice cream. But Power Virtual Agent is the third one I want to discuss. As I said, Power Virtual Agent is something I hadn't expected at all to come, because I was expecting more something like Composer. There has been previous versions of Composers that was built and then thrown away, and they built something new. But I've never been on general available, so we're glad we're having that. Now, Power Virtual Agent, well, you see the title here, 1, 2, 3, and that actually means it because there's a quick startup and an easy way to get into production. It's code free, it's perfect for business or subject matter experts, and there's no need for any AI expertise or developers. And it's a very easy way to build multi-turn conversation and understand also inputs. So it can also talk back to your backend systems and authentication. It's all perfectly possible. It has built-in monitoring, so you have a good overview of the amount of sessions that the chatbot had, where your chatbot is not doing well, where people dropped out, of the conversation and so on. Now let's go to the Power Virtual Agent. Okay. Cool. What you have on the side, of course, a home has every application. Topics, and topics you can compare with intents. And then you have your entities, well, just as in Lewis has entities also. Now, in topics, let's see, I will just open a simple example that is built in lesson 1. And this is asking just to get the opening hours of a shop. Now, if we reset here the chat, we just say hi. Okay, it's already responding to us, and that's even by default. You don't need to do anything to get there. Now we want to ask, when are you open? Open, open is altering canvas, so you see what's going on. And I sent a question, and you will see that every part of the canvas has been triggered, and you see how your flow works. In this case, it's very easy because it's just one straight line, and we get the details of the opening hours. Now, if we make it a bit more difficult, we go back to our topics, and for example, topic with conditions and variables. So what we have here, trigger phrases, just as we needed also in the composer that is needed for Lewis. We have questions like, what is the best product for me? I want a business laptop. What is a product for home? I'm a gamer, I need a laptop, and so on. So if we go here and we say, what is the best product for me? Again, I have a writing mistake, but that doesn't matter. So it asks me the question now. So what kind of user are you? Home user, gamer, or business user? Let me reset. I want a business laptop. Notice it didn't ask me now this question. Do you see yourself as a home user, gamer, or business user? Because this setting, skip question, well, it has been set on. How did that happen? Well, on the entities part, you can train. So there's already a bunch of pre-built entities already to recognize colors, dates, languages, money, URLs, and so on. But we have here a closed list of usage types where you can say, okay, home user, well, a synonym of that is home, gamer is gaming, business user is business. You can add multiple synonyms, you can add more items to it, you can do smart matching, so it also takes into account of words with similar meaning and so on. So because of that, this is putting Lewis within your chatbots, and it shows you don't need to call, ask the question again. Now, if I go further, shall I add this to the cart? I will go back to our topics because this is an interesting one. If you go to the bottom, you have your end of conversation, and this automatically will ask your user a couple of questions. Did that answer your question? Okay, yes, it did. Please give your experience. Well, it's quite good. And based on that, your report will be filled and you have a good overview of what is happening. Of course, here in this case, just some Q&A, we're not doing really any actions. Now I have another blog post if you want to look it up on my blog datafish.eu, where I created a video of how to add QnA Maker within Power Virtual Agent, because that's not by default possible. But to get there, I used Power Automate. Now, if we go to an empty, just create a new topic. I have a question. Okay. Something randomly. Why is not showing my question here now? Okay, I'll go back to other topic. Okay. So if you want to call an action, the only possibility that you have is call an action, and these are Power Automate functions. So if you add them into your list of functions or flows, you can find them back here within virtual agents also. So this makes it quite easy to communicate actually with anything you want, because then you can do any HTTP request, which could be an Azure function. So as a developer, you could assist your business to get where to do specific actions where necessary. Power Virtual Agents is limited to what is possible, what you see. There's no extensive language generation, for example. Multilingual is not possible. But if you want to have all those things within Power Virtual Agents, there is a way to add skills. And a skill is actually a chatbot that is built on Bot Framework SDK that you can add to your Power Virtual Agent. So that's quite cool. Also, authentication is perfectly possible with any OAuth provider. So Azure Active Directory, Facebook, Google, whatever you want, it's all possible. You can publish your chatbot in a very easy way on different channels. You see here a bunch of them. Just by clicking on it, it will be pushed to their environment. And then, of course, publishing just by a click, and it's done. And then you have your analytics, as I showed in the screenshot. Boom, boom. All right, this is not what I wanted to show. That's this. Okay. Do we have one last flavor? Let's call it Mocha, the Hellbot. Now, why would Microsoft make a specific sector-based tool? Well, because in the health industry, you need to have specific certificates to be able to be used in the health industry. And that's what they have with the Hellbots. And for that, just made a small video. So if you go to hellbot.microsoft.com, depending on where you are, you will go to the Hellbot service. You need to actually add it first to your Azure platform. And then you have already by default a bunch of templates. While we're living in COVID-19 days, so they have a specific response template for triage to get a symptom checker, but also for booking appointments, human handoff to human is built in, and so on. So if we add now the symptom checker template, you get, again, it's a more technical schema, but it's a tree structure of all the things that need to happen. Also, their calls to APIs are perfectly possible. Questions, picking up the answers, sending things to Lewis, all no problem. You might notice that this chatbot, it's a click chatbot. There's not really interaction with text. Why is this the case? And might be very important in the healthcare, is because you also want to make your chatbots available, for example, for a more older public who is not really fluent in chatting. So for them, just clicking on buttons makes it more easier. Also, their publishing to different channels is perfectly possible. Most of the time we see this as available on the website of a hospital. During now these last months, we built a small chatbot. We partnered up with Microsoft for this and got Hellbot available in around 7 hospitals here in Belgium. where one of them had like in 1 month's time 21,000 conversations. So we were really shocked about it. Also, multilingual is not an issue for us here in Belgium. That's a necessity because we have 3 national languages, so you need to have it available also in 3 languages. And as you see, different channels is perfectly possible. Oh, my time is almost finished. So let's talk a little bit about money, because that's always important. The tools. The tools QnA Maker, you can go for free. And actually, with a free tier, you can go quite far. In the backend, you have the QnA Maker cognitive service and the Azure Cognitive Search. So these two are combined and make use of an app service. So all these ones can go for free, but again, depends on how many users you need. The bot framework API, well, the chatbot on itself is an API. So that one, again, runs on Azure on an app service plan, can be run locally, but then of course you need to configure your firewalls correctly. So again, for free, or you go to can go to hundreds of euros depending on what you want. The cognitive services all have a number of calls or all paper usage, so you always have a certain amount of calls you can do for free. So play around with it. Composer is Bot Framework SDK, so that doesn't change anything at all. It's an open source tool, so both are open source. So you can just use it whenever you want. It's the publishing that costs you the money. Power Virtual Agent is another story that costs, putting it in production costs you $1,000 per month for 2,000 conversations. So you might say that's a lot of money, but yeah, you don't need a developer, and a developer costs also a lot of money. And then we have the Health Bot. Again, there you have a free tier, and that's again depending on how many messages you're sending to or from the bot. So that was it. If you have any more questions, well, shoot out now in the chat, or send me a message on Twitter at Sammy Deprez, or yeah, you can also visit my blog datafish.eu. So thank you.
Oh, amazing. Hi. So that was 4 different flavors of building a chatbot. Sammy, just name the first one.
Bot Framework SDK.
Okay, and the second one?
The Composer, built on Bot Framework SDK, a visual aid to build chatbots with Bot Framework SDK.
And the third one?
Power Virtual Agent, which is more for the business users.
Okay, and that's like no code, right?
That's no code at all, yeah.
Amazing. And then the last one that we just revealed, which is the
Health Bot, which just is also very nice, but a bit technical. I don't see a business user working on it, but it has specific certificates for the health industry.
Amazing. And I think one thing I took away from it is that with the Health Bot, it's just like, buttons to make it so much easy for them to be able to chat with it because they don't have much time, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Exactly. It's been so much fun discussing chatbots, and if you never try building a chatbot on your own, you don't need to start from scratch. With all these 4 that Sammy, showed, yes, you have like little or no code to write to get your chatbot up and running. And
yeah,
you
even
can
if you want to build with Bot Framework SDK, there's many templates that you can find that have everything already included, and that you can just fine tune, where you can already see how you need to integrate QnA Maker, how you need to integrate Lewis, how you need to call different services. It's all quite well done, documented, so it's easy to start.
Amazing. Where is Salman? Hi, Salman.
Hi. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's really awesome. We use these bots everywhere. If some of you don't know, we're doing that whole bot for the Microsoft Data Partner program, which we started last year. Then incorporated the bot for our hackathon, which David and the MSG Inspire team worked on, and also my Discord bot is made as well using Lewis. Oh no, wait, did I make it in Lewis? No, I used a separate. That's a Discord bot, so it wasn't Lewis. But yeah, I mean, these bots are really awesome. You can go ahead, try them out, and do reach out to Sammy on his social medias if you have any questions.
Yeah, sure, for sure. A funny bot that we made for a customer was a chatbot that generates letters of resignation.
Wait, is it like because
it sounds
people don't know how to
crazy,
talk?
but it's an HR company, so they need to they get a lot of calls from their customers, like, okay, I want to fire this person, what's his resignation period, and so on. So normally it takes them to do all the calculations like 2 hours, and now with their chatbot it takes only like 15 minutes. The document is generated and put in their service desk system. So that's quite cool. So it's really nice for internal usage. We even build it as like a very simple chatbot that they add into Teams for trainings, and the chatbot just keeps track of how many people are in the call, so they can see how long people were attending the training for reporting.
Oh wow!
Amazing.
So I can imagine they have like you can choose if it's chatty, if it's friendly, if it's like a chat bot just saying, hey, I hope you're doing well, and like in a friendly tone, and then fires someone. Oh wow.
Yeah, I think in the chat someone is asking a question that can we have, oh no, I think that's not the question that the person asked initially, but I saw one question. Okay, do you have any link for them to learn more on chatbots? I think Microsoft Learn has, great. Just check on Microsoft Learn.
Even if you go to the GitHub page of Bot Framework SDK, you will find quite some tutorials. Also for the Composer, there's a full-blown tutorial.
On Microsoft.
Oh, there's still some issues with it, but I'm planning to fix that soon.
Amazing.
So if you find issues on their GitHub, please just, if you can fix it, you can always do pull request. They appreciate that.
Yeah, we have
and
some
that's a good
people
contribution.
in this chat who have used Dialogflow. I know Anush and Akshita worked on that for the hackathon. I think it was last week. So yeah, chatbots are everywhere. Hope you all enjoyed. Yes, you can have a chatbot for Teams. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one. That's what Salman mentioned. We built one. So it's yet to be released. I'm hoping it get released soon to all of you. So that
it's just going.
I see one question here from Basel Idisa. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly.
Yeah, Idisa.
But he's asking a bot that codes all your projects for you, right? Well, actually, it's possible. Well, not fully, but if you have specific templates, you could link your chatbots, like ask your chatbot, okay, I need to create a new web application. Bot will ask you some specific parameters, and then by making use of DevOps REST APIs, it might generate for you a new project for you with all the details already there. So the combinations are everything is possible. So this is really cool.
Yeah, I can imagine you have like a chatbot where it's like, hey, I need to set up 10 virtual machines, and then you say, hey, can you set this up? And then you have a resource manager template. We have a blueprint set up, so that
exactly perfectly possible.
You just it just sends out the JSON, and that's all done for you. And like you could set these up as parameters, so it would you have your intents. You could take in, hey, I want 10 virtual machines. It will take that 10, and then change that in the resource manager template or the blueprint. And that you can imagine how far you can take that.
Well, we had a proof of concept with it, that we had a chatbot where you could ask questions like, how were my sales of last year, for example? And then based on, it was in a browser, based on the question, we would show another graph in the browser, depending on what kind of data he needs to see. So also there for reporting, it's a possibility.
Amazing. So it's been really, really an awesome discussion. If you're in the chats, click on the subscribe button. Make sure you like this video. Tweet about it. Someone might find your tweet somewhere and then just click to watch this video And just for you to know, it will be a life-changing opportunity for the person. So please, 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 tweet, let people hear about it. Okay.
And if you have any questions, follow me on Twitter. I'm always there to answer.
Amazing.
That's at Sammy Deprez. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. So so Sammy is a Microsoft MVP, AI MVP. Sammy has worked on series of projects with the Microsoft AI stack, and we are so much excited that today he joined us to share his knowledge with all of you. Sammy, thank you so much. Thanks once again.
Thank you for inviting and having me. It was an honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
So before we drop off from Sammy's call, today is the last day of the Juneteenth Conf. If you don't know about it, check out on juneteenthconf.com. At 6 o'clock p.m., I'll be giving a talk, okay? So if you've been having some confusion, if you've been learning so much, but you are not able to build projects, if you've been building projects, but you are not still feeling self-certified, all those stuff, I'm right in there to talk about them and share my stories with you, share amazing resources with you. So join us. All right, thank you. Salman, over to you to close the session.
Cool, yeah. Don't forget to sign up for the event we have with the Microsoft recruiters later this year. It's just a quick form and we'll notify you when that's going live. And if you do want any advice as well, check out my channel for internship advice. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Don't forget to check out Sammy and Dawood on Twitter. And yeah, we'll have a great time discussing this on Twitter. And yeah, cool. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And don't forget to check out Dawood's session on Juneteenth in about, how long is it? 2 hours from now? 1 hour from now?
Yep, I think 1 hour, 30 minutes from now.
What's your session going to be about?
Yeah, so the session is essentially going to be about the future of technology and how to keep in touch whilst it evolves. A lot of things have been happening, like Bot Framework comes up, like Node.js become the most popular one, then PHP pops up with Laravel, and a lot of people become so much, I don't know, how do I even put it, but they are just in haste to learn everything, right? Mm-hmm. But they keep learning everything for like 1 year, 2 years, and then they realize that I've learned for 4 years, but I can't build a single project. So my talk is essentially going to talk about how you can leave that zone and then be more productive, right? And discuss more stacks that people can, follow to be able to be productive programmers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll join you.
Looking forward to that. 1 hour. 20 minutes time.
Excited. Cool. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to play the trailer. Any last words?
Take care, everyone.
Amazing. Take care. We can't wait to have Sammy once again on this channel. Thank you so much.
No problem.
When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I wouldn't have it another way. There's no other way. When it hurts like this, have a light, beat it, have a light, have a light, have a light, beat it, have a light. When it hurts like this, have a light, 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 when it hurts.